My girlfriend's family is acting strange following my sudden inheritance. Feel like my life is shattering. Where do I even begin? I'm so lost right now I don't even know how to put things into words or find a good starting point. I guess it goes with how 2 months ago, my life was exactly where I wanted it to be. I've been with the girl of my dreams, 27 female, for the last 3.5 years. We have a house, animals, both of our families get along beautifully and honestly. The last 3 years with her and my family and her family around the holidays have been some of the most warm, fuzzy memories I've had in my entire life, and, believe me, I've been thinking about those times a lot lately. So, like I said, this problem is going to come in parts because my entire life feels like it is on the brink of completely falling apart. My mother was a very, very wealthy woman. Most of my life, she and I did not get along very well, but I started working in the family business roughly 5 years ago, and since then we've actually developed a great relationship. It was one of those things where, after many years of feeling that my mother hated me, she was at last proud of me and not afraid to say she loved me and valued me. Then, last month in mid-March, she passed away. I'm tearing up thinking about this as I type because I've always felt that despite her resentment towards me in my early years, I loved my mother more than anyone else in this world. I won't say much more than that she had a hard life in spite of her wealth, and I feel I could write a whole book on our relationship. Anyway, she is gone and my siblings and I are now extremely wealthy and have taken possession of the business and all of her investments and property. If that isn't scary enough, I'm having a hard time figuring out what I need to do next. The business I was associated with, I can handle, and my siblings and I have really come together on this and they seem to trust me with that part of it. But it doesn't wash away the hurt and guilt I feel that I only got a few good years with the woman who gave me life. Anyway, my plan is to marry my girlfriend by next year, and we've already discussed the prenup situation, which I will be getting due to my newfound wealth. She has been nothing but wonderful after my mom's death, but the problems comes in her family. I won't go into much detail, but I love these people like an extension of my own family, but they have already started trying to pry exactly how wealthy I am out of my girlfriend, and her mom has always had a gravitational pull towards, for lack of a better term, pyramid schemes. Her first sibling, Terry, just got married and is working a fast food job. Terry and his wife have decided they will be starting a family soon and stated that they want wife to be a stay-at-home mom. This talk has only recently popped up and been brought to my attention, and I feel like I'm being paranoid. Been directed at me, as there is absolutely no way they'd be able to afford this on the money they currently make or even while living in their small apartment. Like they are expecting me to help them out in a situation they are wholly unable to handle right now. Sibling number 2. Leslie has run into some pretty serious legal trouble and is also pregnant. The father has a history of abuse and neither have steady incomes. They have recently come back into our lives after a 4-year-long absence between girlfriend and Leslie, though. Prior to this, the two have always been extremely close, as girlfriend is with all of her siblings, as throughout their childhood, a lot of the time all they had was each other. Sibling number 3, Casey, who I hardly ever speak to, has even started chatting me up on Facebook more than she ever has in the entire time I've known her. Is this just my brain devolving into paranoia, or is this actually happening? Like the lottery horror stories you hear where people come out of the woodwork with their hands out when they smell money on someone they know? I know for a fact my mother, for all of her faults, fell victim to this when she inherited this money. She became increasingly bitter throughout her life due to all of the husbands and friends that took advantage of her for what she could do for them. She drank herself stupid every day for 30+ years and moved through carton after carton of cigarettes and alienated her own children. I don't want to be like that. I don't want that to happen. It's been less than a month that I've had more money than I know what to do with, and I'm afraid to spend a dime or do anything with it because I feel like my girlfriend's family is only the beginning. What's worse and will probably make me look like a total shithead is my girlfriend is already committed to helping Leslie. They were close their whole lives, and with all of the legal trouble and pregnancy, girlfriend cries at night thinking about what's happening to her. She has not asked me to help financially or anything, but I have been there every step of the way to help support them and her as best as I can. But how will it look when my girlfriend starts giving out her money to people while I don't and get viewed as a selfish Scrooge? All of this is too much. The last 3 years were just so wonderful. So many magic trips to the beach, wonderful holidays, surrounded by not one but 2 families full of great people that accepted and loved me, and now it seems like, because I lost my mother and am getting a windfall because of it, everything is changing. I don't get to be happy with family anymore and my whole life is crashing because of this. I know this is so far beyond a first world problem. Poor baby is now a multimillionaire and is a little sad he can't have a happy Christmas, wah wah, but I feel so broken. I miss my mom. I don't sleep at all. I hardly eat, and despite knowing full well the path my mother went down, I've been drinking a bit and smoking weed more than I ever had on a daily basis. In fact, my siblings seem to be coping just fine, and now I feel like everyone is out to get me. Even my girlfriend is getting a little tired of hearing me voice my concerns over girlfriend's siblings 1 to 3 and her mom's sudden extra interest in me, which is understandable. They are all very close and take up for one another. Now, I'm even doubting myself and thinking it's all in my head. Maybe too many times my mother drunkenly telling me about all the times she trusted people and was let down. I'm just so lost. Update. First, I just want to say wow, this whole thing blew and has made me feel much better about the whole situation. Thank you everyone for your understanding, condolences, and advice. I read the lottery winning thread many of you linked to, and while I'm not currently $300 million richer, I will look into a smaller scale version of all of the things you offered up. I'm not sure if it's worth writing a whole update, but last night, I called my sister and drove an hour to her house and stayed the night with her, her husband, and my nieces and nephew. Over some beer she and I started talking about the whole situation. Oddly, it's the first time we've really talked about anything alone without attorneys or my other siblings around since my mother died. Side note, she passed away on March 8th and I know there was at least one comment that said this seemed like everything was moving too fast. Anyway, it turns out she isn't as together about everything as I thought she was. I showed her the thread and all of the replies and both she and I agreed to talk to a financial advisor and look into getting attorneys to help us with this. She had been primarily working with my mom's attorney up until now. I'm going to look into setting up a trust as well. Nothing too crazy but enough that I can give small gifts to these people and have a cap on it so to speak for whenever it does come up. I talked to my girlfriend on the phone this morning and kind of laid it all out and she was in total agreement. She said she was surprised Casey has suddenly started talking to me and that it was very suspicious. She also said that Terry's wife brought up the kids again and was showing her houses they wanted to get that were way out of their price range and my girlfriend kind of played dumb and just kept asking questions about how they plan to afford all that, so I know she and I are, for now at least, on the same page. Lastly, when I was talking to my sister last night, she said something that both uplifted and destroyed me. We were talking about our mom and what a hard ass she was and my sister said that one of the last conversations she had with our mom, my mother said you and, my brother, trust Windfall Curse, he knows what he's doing and he will make sure everyone is okay. Anyway, thank you all again for all of your comments. I feel like a better and stronger person just one day later.